February 10th, 1943. A smoking Thunderbolt limps over the English Channel. Its pilot, Lieutenant Jack Reynolds, can barely keep it steady. The engine's coughing. The wings are torn. Fuel's leaking into the sea. He's not supposed to make it home. But what he brings back will rewrite the way America fights the air war. Because inside that wreck was a secret every pilot had been waiting for. When the Republic P-47 Thunderbolt first rolled off the assembly line, most pilots hated it. They called it a flying tank. Too big, too heavy, too slow. It couldn't climb like a Spitfire, couldn't turn like a Messerschmitt, and it sure didn't look like a dogfighter. Even German pilots joked about it. They said the Americans were trying to fight the war with tractors. But the Army Air Forces had a different idea. They didn't want a nimble acrobat. They wanted a brawler, something that could take punishment, deliver it back tenfold, and bring its pilot home in one piece. And that's where Lieutenant Reynolds came in. On that winter morning, his squadron was ambushed over France. Messerschmitts dove from the sun and chaos erupted. Tracer rounds shredded the sky. One burst ripped through Reynolds' right wing. Another tore into the turbocharger. Smoke filled the cockpit. He should have bailed out, but he didn't. He stayed with the plane, throttle trembling, altimeter dropping. He coaxed the dying machine back across the channel. It was part instinct, part madness, and somehow it worked. When ground crews pulled the wreck from the runway, they stared in disbelief. Despite gaping holes, twisted panels, and a bullet-riddled fuselage, the Thunderbolt had survived. And more importantly, it had brought its pilot home alive. Engineers tore the plane apart for answers. They studied every hole, every bent spar, every bullet path. And what they found changed everything. The Thunderbolt's massive radial engine acted like armor. The self-sealing fuel tanks had held. And the design so often mocked had absorbed punishment no other fighter could endure. The Air Force realized they weren't flying a slow heavyweight. They were flying a fortress with wings. From that moment, doctrine shifted. No more tight-turn dogfights. The P-47 became the hammer of the skies, a high-altitude bruiser armed with 8.50 caliber machine guns and the strength to dive at 500 miles an hour. It didn't dance with the enemy anymore. It crushed them. By late 1944, the P-47 was a scourge of German armor columns, blowing up trains, convoys, and tanks by the thousands. Pilots began calling it the Jug, short for Juggernaut, and that name fit perfectly. The joke plane had become one of the most feared machines in Europe. The wreck of Jack Reynolds' Thunderbolt was repaired and sent back to war. He flew it again, this time with a small message painted on the side. Still flying. By the end of the war, the P-47 had flown more than 500,000 sorties and earned a reputation for doing the impossible. One broken plane, one stubborn pilot, and one moment of courage. That's all it took to prove that sometimes strength is the ultimate form of speed. If you enjoyed the story of the forgotten machines and men who shaped the skies of World War II, subscribe and keep your eyes on the horizon. There's always another mission waiting to be told.